Well, welcome in, everybody, for another edition of the Countdown to Kickoff Show, hosted here by the Sharp app. And here we are in week 16 of the NFL season. And of course, this has been yet another tumultuous week here in the NFL. We got tons of news to get into today. So keep it locked right here all the way up until 1 o'clock at kickoff time. I will be joined at about 12:10. The Sharp app's own Rich Musana is going to join us here to break down his best plays of the day. Probably about 12:30, 12:35. I'm going to have Paul Shapiro on here, possibly. We're going to see if he's available. Had a little bit of questionability about his status today, but we'll get that all cleared up here in a bit. Yes, so Paul will be joining us here at 12:30. So that is great to see as always. But first, before we dive into anything, make sure you guys download the Sharp app. Follow the Sharp app on Twitter at the Sharp app, as you can see there on the bottom ticker. You can follow me, Al Walsh, at 14a.walsh. But yeah, most importantly, you want to make sure that you're locking in these bets there on the Sharp app. You're going to be able to see how you're doing over the course of a week, a month, the whole year, how you're doing in each sport. And of course, get all those fancy graphs and charts and stuff like that that you can follow along with as well. So if you're a bettor, this is a sort of a must-have as far as I'm concerned right now. You want to make sure that you have the Sharp app. That way, you know what you're looking like each and every week after you're picking these games. All right, so the big thing I wanted to get into here at the top is just sort of who's in, who's out this week, because this is going to be just an absolute disaster trying to make sense of all this stuff. But here we go. Looking at the quarterback position, of course, in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, they're both going to be out today. As we know, if you're like me and you had one of these guys at quarterback, you know that that this is kind of a situation that now we have to go looking for other people. So, as somebody who has Lamar Jackson in fantasy, I'm in the Final Four this weekend. But I had to make a pivot to Ben Roethlisberger. I asked the same question to our own Kevin Epstein, the geek here this morning. The two quarterbacks that I was able to scrounge up there at the end were Ben Roethlisberger and Derek Carr. So I don't know if any of you guys have a similar problem out there today, but it is real, with all these different injuries out there. So, when we look at Derek Carr, the other option that I had there, a quarterback, we're looking at a game that's got a total of about 41, 42, something like that. I just think that Roethlisberger going head to head against Patrick Mahomes this week, there's probably more more of an optimistic outlook for a shootout in that one. I know the total sitting at that one probably about 45 or so. It's kind of remained constant there all week, but I think, and again, I'm a guy that has Deontay Johnson in both leagues, so I'm going to try to pair that up there with Ben Roethlisberger and see what we can make of it. There are some other quarterback issues that you guys might have. Jared Goff's going to be out today. I know a lot of people probably weren't playing him, but from a betting perspective, Detroit +7 on the road today at Atlanta. Now, Atlanta is 1-5 on the road this season, right? So 1-5 at home this season, right? So it hasn't been all that home cooking that we're used to from the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, listen, you shut Chick-fil-A down on a Sunday, people are not happy. That includes the players. That includes everybody out there, right? You got to make sure you got your Chick-fil-A open for the people. But no Jared Goff today there for the Lions, so that's probably going to be looking like better news there. For the Chicago Bears, Andy Dalton and Justin Fields are out today, so BD Nick going to be in the lineup there. And I don't know if you guys saw this too, but it's a winter wonderland out there in Seattle right now. So I'm a guy I had in a league. I had Russell Wilson at quarterback. With Travis Kelce out, I had to go Gerald Everett there. I had to pull the brakes on that one too, right? So in this playoff matchups, man, this is really like the worst weather game of the day today out there in Seattle between the Bears and the Seahawks. So again, if you're playing fantasy today, be wary of that. It is a winter weather advisory out there. So I got Russell Wilson and Gerald Everett the hell out of my lineups. Went with Ben in that one too, and Shaughnessy there from Jacksonville. So a lot of last minute surgery work here, especially when you got to do this show. Not the greatest point to be at, but again, we we're gonna need to make our adjustments as they come. Another quarterback injury that we have to be aware of: Teddy Bridgewater. He is out for the Broncos today, so that means that the Drew Lock era resumes there in Denver, which should always be interesting. Now, I am a Drew Lock truther. I think the guy's got some sort of talent. He's definitely got the weapons around him now here in Denver, but it's between the ears where we always wonder about Mr. Lock. So we're going to have to see how he performs today. But again, we're seeing that total down at 41. Not really sure what we're going to get out of that. Luckily, it's an indoor game. So, if you're looking for fantasy points, perhaps that could be the way to do it. If you're looking for, another one of those quarterback options, if you're in a really, really deep situation. So be aware of all those as well. So looking at the running backs, there's a couple big absences today. Dalvin Cook, he's in COVID protocols there for Minnesota. He is out. Leonard Fournette actually on injured reserve, which sets up a pretty interesting scenario for a lot of people. Ronald Jones was available in pretty much every fantasy league there. I held on to him because I had Leonard Fournette, but definitely a situation where Jones is going to get a lot of touches today. I know we got a lot of prop bettors out there as well. So I saw Ronald Jones, I think as low as 65.5 rushing yards today. And there's not a lot of competition that he's going to be getting for touches, right? Like Keyshawn Vaughn is probably, the only other capable back right now in the Bucs backfield. I know that they just signed Le'Veon Bell earlier this week, but you got to wonder, what's his knowledge with the playbook? Is there any similar terminology that he might have had, in some of his other stops here in the last couple of years? But again, man, we know Brady, kind of a stickler. Now that's going to be interesting too, right? Because Ronald Jones had some issues as a younger player, in pass protection and whatnot, right? So now that he's going to be the bell cow back for the Bucs in these last 3 regular season games, at least, we got to, Brady probably spent a lot of extra time with the guy this week. So I think that Rojo is in good hands. Don't forget too, these Bucs, man, they're going to be missing a lot of players. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rashad Perriman, all out for this game. So again, we're talking about fantasy and looking for some deep sleepers that you might need at pass catchers. Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, these are 2 guys that can fill in admirable. They both made some very big catches in the playoff run last year for the Bucs. Don't forget, Antonio Brown is back this week, so that means that we're probably going to see a very healthy dose of targets coming his way. Rob Gronkowski still active. Now, this is where it gets interesting too for the Bucs, right? You've got Gronk, OJ Howard, Cam Brate. These are guys that are probably going to have to fill in. I'm sure they're going to get a couple extra looks in this game as well. So really looking forward to seeing what the Bucs have to offer here, especially after getting shut out at home last week there by the New Orleans Saints. So I had Rich Masana here briefly, and he is back. There he is, joining us for the second time in less than 7 days. It's Rich Masana. Make sure you guys are following Rich on Twitter there at JFan303. Rich, thanks for joining us here on short notice. As I talked about the other day, man, COVID not only hitting the football teams, it's hitting the guest list as well. So always thankful when you join us out there from Colorado. So what's looking good to you on this slate here today?
It's an interesting morning. We got some news that affected one of my fantasy teams here in a semifinal. I have DeAndre Swift out. So in my flex spot, originally had T. Higgins in there. I think I put in Craig Reynolds, man. This guy basically getting like 100-yard games, getting fed, 20 carries a game. And this is a pretty soft game here. Should be high scoring there with the Falcons. So, but Yahoo sort of psychologically, tries to talk you out of it because they only have them projected for like 2 points or something. They don't adjust. So it's like now I'm like projected to lose by a ton. Like what the hell?
But hey, it's all right. They still got Lamar Jackson projected for 18 points, and he ain't even playing. So
just stupid.
Yeah, and one of the things you got to realize too, it's Christmas weekend, right? Like maybe the Yahoo developers and stuff like that, they're hitting the ski slopes or something like that.
Oh, sure. Well, they're not hitting the ski slopes here in Colorado because we haven't had much of any snow so far. So
yeah, all that Colorado snow, it's going out west to Seattle out there. So that's going to be pretty nasty conditions out there. As I saw I think we're looking at like 20-degree weather, rain, snow showers all day, just an absolute disaster. So does that, sort of alter your pick in any way in that game?
I don't have any play in that game.
Okay.
If I were playing a heavy DFS week or something, touching that would obviously influence that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a couple of games here, I think are pretty interesting. I had a very early it's weird with COVID. You try to get ahead of the curve. And I think in most instances, it works out where, now I'm glad I got that at this, especially with spreads and everything. But, might have, sat back a little bit on the Steelers. I had them out very early. And now it looks like that's up to like a plus 10 from the plus 7.5. But, my theory, originally I thought that both these guys would be out. So like the way Tyreek, I think he went on the COVID list Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very rare someone gets off that and plays in time. And not only that, I mean, these guys are not offensive linemen, defensive linemen, where they be standing there, using their bodies. I mean, these guys just had COVID, didn't practice like all week. And now they're going to be out there like running routes. And I mean, I just can't imagine, they'd be 100%, and given the Chiefs, I mean, you're going to like this analogy. We saw the Arizona Cardinals last night. They have an explosive quarterback. He's great, Kyler Murray. But when he has, no skill players to throw to, the loss of Hopkins and they're really just focusing down on Ertz, and otherwise depending on, a cast of characters there, it's very tough. And I think, no Travis Kelce, Tyreek, obviously now Pittsburgh can sort of shift attention a little bit on Tyreek Hill because we probably know where the ball is going more often than not. Kansas City. So if you could sort of, hone in on him a little bit, I think it could be a tough day for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Going into the week, I thought, I don't know. I looked at the spread and I said to myself, all right, this looks like it could actually be a tough one for the Steelers. I have this line in my head, right? Like 200 on the money line usually is like the barometer where if we're going to see an upset, you're probably going to see that money line under 200 there for the underdog and also 2 there for the favorite. But, Chiefs were handily favored in this one, but, they get a couple injuries. I know on the defensive side of the ball, I think they're missing a guy or two as well. So, hopefully that works out. I got a lot of stock in Ben Roethlisberger today because of all the injuries and stuff like that. So he is my guy. I got Deontay Johnson on both teams in fantasy. So I'm trying to, pair up the goodness like that. Just so much stuff this week that is actually going to be, taken into account. But the one, I guess my favorite play of the day today, I'm actually going with the Jets nearby, going up against the Jaguars today. So I've been one of these guys. I got suckered in twice by the Jaguars this season, both against the Texans. They screwed me over. So now I'm flipping it. I'm going against them. But we've seen the Jets money line, or I'm sorry, the spread kind of improving throughout the week. We saw this as a pick 'em at one point, but as a New York guy, I thought you'd appreciate that. My
DraftKings and FanDuel names are Jets fans, so
yeah, that's right.
And I would agree with you there. And I think I shared this in the staff group during the week. Now I didn't go back and look at every single applicable game, but just being a Jets fan, I could tell you anytime you're in this sort of moment late in the season, and you're facing like the Jets are like they have 1 win, 2 wins, no wins, and they're facing a similarly opponent, and a draft position is at stake. Where hey, if they fall, all of a sudden like some teams leapfrog them or vice versa, the Jets almost always win these games. They'll win, like they'll even come back and win or something, and they'll win by 3 and they'll all be pumping their chests. And I get it. I mean, these players don't care who the Jets, draft next year. A lot of them, they're going to other teams they're trying to, keep their careers going. So it doesn't really matter to them, but the Jets always seem to win these games. And, then they drop, a couple draft slots or whatever, and all the fans complain. So, I mean, it just seems to always work out that way. It's very narrative there, but, go with it.
I also saw that this is the first time the Jets were favored in 25 games.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's rough.
I think the last time that they were favored was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was that game against Denver where Denver had to come across East last year on like a Thursday.
Oh, last year. I
Yeah.
thought you were about to say like when they played
No.
like nah, they were like minus 700. I think the spread was 10 in Denver. I forget, was it 27-0 or it was something like that final. Yeah, maybe last year I could see that during going all the way to New York, and it takes a lot of obstacles for the Jets to be favorites.
and the Jets lost that game too, by the way. But I got all the faith in them this time around. All right, what else you got on your board today?
Let's look at looking through this. So yesterday, bet wise, I threw up some parlays. We could basically get some like advanced odds and some money lines. I put everything on the Packers there, and thankfully that worked out. Figure Baker coming off COVID, you might throw some interceptions, might not be 100%. I can't imagine why you wouldn't just keep running Nick Chubb, every play, until I get it when you're in like the final minute. In like you have no timeouts or something. But before that, just if you're getting 10 yards of carry, just keep running. So I saw Sensational had a pick on the lines. I like that. I think you got the +7. That's up +7.5. Again, the Falcons sort of climb now. They're up to -370 there on the money line. Questionable. The Falcons, not the best team themselves. In Detroit, we've seen them sort of step up the last couple of weeks. Another game, I put out a risk-free FanDuel, $10 parlay. So if you opt in on FanDuel Sportsbook, you could do anything with that $10. You could have some plus 50,000 crazy odds, try to win 10 grand if like 7 things or 8 things hit. I did, I sort of focused on Cincinnati and Baltimore. Being a Jets fan, I got a little taste of Josh Johnson there on Thursday Night Football versus the Colts. And let me tell you, it was rough. He just sort of stepping in now and like, maybe, this line has obviously moved in the Bengals' favor, no doubt. But it hasn't moved far enough, all things considered. This guy is not Tyson Huntley. I don't think he just steps in and operates as seamlessly. I think it'd be sort of tough, and I put in the alternate spread there at the -6.5. So that way, a little bit under like what's on the books, so that way win by a touchdown, we cover there. I think a Mixon anytime touchdown and then Joe Burrow plus 275 yards because the Ravens also have a lot of injuries there in the secondary, other issues. I don't think anyone had a pick on that game. I'm not confident enough to throw that up there and put my own money on it and say, oh, he's $100 on Bengals, covering that spread. But I think for the risk-free parlay, that's a good way to go.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a big live bettor today, and I think this game is going to be at the top of my interest because – it's such an important game there in the AFC North. And you mentioned it too with those Ravens injuries. They're already poor in the secondary this season, right? So I can see Baltimore kind of coming out like being a real pain in the ass for people and just, making it like maybe like a field goal game early. And then I could see Cincinnati pulling away late. I think that they usually – some of their best work this season has been late. I know they had games against the Vikings, the Packers, the 49ers, where they really showed up late in those games and made it interesting at the end. Or that game against Green Bay was absolutely insane with all the missed field goals. That was a day I had Cincinnati money line, by the way. So the drama just felt like it would never end. But you're absolutely right. We saw Josh Allen Thursday night earlier this season against the Colts. He looked very good. Is he going to be that good with the whole new offense? Who knows? But I think this is something I want to see a couple more. I want to see a couple snaps before I go betting on the game there. There's a lot of intrigue to me in that one.
I think right there you meant Josh Jackson instead of Josh Allen, but you sort of segued me into like the next game. I think is sort of interesting there. You're right.
Josh Johnson. Yes. If I did say him, I bet. Did you know I saw Josh Johnson play live in the XFL 2 years ago. It was actually, I think, one of the last XFL games that was still around, but he was on LA, came to New York, and they got the big L going up against the Guardians, the big bad Guardians. It's funny. I was taking a look at the picks that we had in the Discord channel. By the way, if you're a member or if you're not a member, make sure you guys sign up with the Sharp app. You're going to get access to the Discord channel where guys like Statsational, Capper Steve are giving all their best picks out there. So Statsational had a trio of games: Detroit +7, Minnesota +3.5, with the juice up at -120, and then Buffalo Bills money line just above even money there on FanDuel. Now, Capper Steve, he has the Jags here plus 2.5. So I don't like that I have to go against Capper Steve. He knows his shit.
And it looks like he also has the Pats, so we got some a split circuit there on that game. Now,
Yes,
Caesars is actually running a promo on that. So I think $50 on the spread of either side, and you get a free bet according to every touchdown scored. Now, probably smart because I think that's a very low total game. So a touchdown,
yeah,
that could be at a minimum there. But I think even if the total something like what is it, 42, 42, something like that.
When I saw it earlier, when I grabbed it earlier this week at 43.5, but and I haven't really looked at it since. But let's take a look here. We are a live show. We get to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, 43.5. It's still at right now.
So I guess you make a little something there. Figure, let's say you get 2 touchdowns. So you get a $14 free bet or something. So, at least make a few bucks, with potential for more. Let's say, the team does grab 3. But, I wouldn't expect much more than that. These sites are they're trying to slim down a little bit, so we have to work a little harder to try to extract some money.
I'm actually I love betting live on air. It is my favorite, but I'm actually putting a little more now that I saw that didn't move at all, that total. Going to stay there, 43.5. Thank you very much. Yeah, so in that game, it's interesting, right? It's a lot of injuries that matter for both sides because Stevenson, the RB 1/2 there for New England, he's out. He's in the COVID protocols this week. Damian Harris was pretty much a game time decision today, but he is going to be good to go. And then Buffalo, they're going to be missing Cole Beasley and Gabriel Davis. So, Belichick always does a pretty good job of neutralizing the team's biggest asset. And I just think they're going to have a lot of stuff to throw at Stephon Diggs today. So how's that gonna bode for the other guys in this offense, right? Like, Dawson Knox is a guy who had a lot of production at the beginning of the season. However, New England, number 1 against the tight end. And I like the under in this one. Some more money on it there. So, shit, man. Defense.
Yeah,
defense.
The under is a play for sure. No doubt. I figure I'm shocked it didn't come down more. And I'm mad at myself for not taking the under last night. I think last night's game was something like a 47 or 48, or it was up there. I was like, wow, you're not gonna. Arizona full there. Issues.
Yeah.
All the injuries on the other side. Yeah, now a missed opportunity there, but Pat's Bills sort of has a similar feel for sure.
Yes, indeed. All right. Anything else? What about Rams Vikings? Right. This is probably one of the more interesting lines of the week. Adam Thielen's going to be playing now for Minnesota, so that's obviously a big bump to there. We saw, as I mentioned, Statsational had the Vikings there plus 3.5. Capper Steve also has the Vikings there. So when you got two minds on that there, but I think we look at that number, 3.5 is what's really appealing here.
Yeah, and I think when we saw the Rams, they got a Cooper Kupp bailout for sure. There are a couple of plays there that he just said, just amazing. Otherwise they don't win that game. So, I could see that, and I think Madison is proper fill-in, for Cook. If anything, he should be very well rested, I would assume. Ready to go for 25 carries. I could see that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So, Caesars is the book that I usually use right now, but they actually moved that line to +3 there for Minnesota. So I can't even get a 3.5 on there if I wanted to, but that's where you got to go shopping for all the different lines and stuff like that. But yeah, you can definitely get your 3.5s out there. As the guys mentioned there on the Discord channel. Let's see. So we got the Vikings 3.5. That Statsational got at DraftKings. And then there's a Vikings plus 3.5 at BetMGM 2 from my boy Pauly Parlays, who will be joining us after Rich here on the show. Pauly works for BetMGM there in the gaming department and puts a lot of beautiful words together there for the people. I also want to also say thank you to the people. This is the highest rated show that we've had so far in the brief time that we've been on air here. So
it looks like from what I see in the primetime Discord, they're piling on the Jets.
Okay. All right.
The only time ever, it happens, but I don't know if you're familiar with Game of Thrones.
A little bit.
The author, George R. R. Martin's a huge Jet fan.
So, by the way, the George R. R. Martin from Bayonne, New Jersey, my hometown.
Yeah, and I think he once did a piece on how the Jets are cursed. Like he put almost like one of those like Game of Thrones style, like even when the Jets win, they lose, sort of deal. And like it's true, man. It just so. I mean, the Jets they might, go out there and blow them out today. Just if it's a meaningless win, the Jets are going to be able to grab it for sure.
Yeah, listen, man, hometown or home field W Thanksgiving or Christmas weekend. Come on, you got to give the home fans something to be happy about. And I think too, look, we've seen the Jets play some pretty good football this year. I know that sounds very weird to say, but they've been competitive in a lot of games. I had them on the money line when they beat Tennessee earlier this season. That was a huge win. A couple other days that didn't go so well, but I think you get a lot of value with the Jets. You got a team that's playing hard. You got to beat the Jaguars by 3. We've seen the Jaguars lose to the Texans already twice this season. I mean, I'm not impressed by this team. Like, let's go, baby. Get Fireman Ed up on his boy's shoulders, and let's get this Jets chant going. Ready to go with this.
So on a side note, if you guys are looking for some more side money, aside from the promo on FanDuel, the $10 risk-free parlay, aside from Caesars where you get free bet for every touchdown when you bet the spread, from a DFS side, it looks like Yahoo's running a contest there where everyone wins. It's $1 and $100,000 to first, and it looks like right now it's only 1/3 full. So
interesting. Interesting.
You literally can't lose money. So,
by the way, Rich and I have both written about this, and I actually took advantage of it and won my bet on the Knicks yesterday. They absolutely crushed the Atlanta Hawks. That's just a sorry-ass team right now. But Caesars has this great deal where if you bet $100 on any NBA game, I think from now until like January 4th, I think it is, you're going to get yourself a $150 gift card for free to the NBA store. It's ridiculous. Rich bought a pair of Jordans the other day. He took a picture of them, showed them. They're nice. I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm probably going 2 jerseys for the summertime season.
Yeah, Knicks won that game, and I had Kemba, but I got a lot of value out of the Hawks from a DFS perspective. I was in the mix until like the very end of the night because I had LeBron and James Harden there, and they both sort of, originally I was like, oh no, Giannis got 60. Damn, the bars, set high, and they surpassed that. And I think if I would have done one little switch where I had like, Williams instead of like the power forward slot, had him in center. When like the sort of thing that like, unless you exactly know how it works out that night, like you probably couldn't even do after the fact.
Yeah. So. The NBA DFS is crazy as it is. I can't even imagine playing during COVID. You probably wind up pouring a couple glasses of whiskey after you're done just to congratulate yourself for all the hard work and all the effort. All right, Rich, any final words before we get going here on Sunday?
Man, best of luck to everyone. Obviously a big week. Most fantasy football semifinals. If you're still alive, you did a great job, but hopefully come through today.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
See?
All right, Rich, go enjoy the rest of your Sunday, man. We'll talk to you later.
Have a good.
All right, and there he goes, Rich Masana of the Sharp app. Again, if you sign up with the Sharp app, you're going to get a lot of great insight from guys like Rich, Statsational, Capper Steve, the football geek himself, Kevin Epstein. It's just a great community of guys out there. Anthony up there, Montreal too, rocking and rolling. We got the Sharp report and everything. Let's take a look. Let's see what the Sharp report had to give to us today, because there's always a good feature here from the Sharp app. Oh, what happened here today? We didn't get a lot filled out. Yes, we did. All right, so here we go. So here's where the Sharp money is residing today. So Carolina, Tampa Bay. This is a bit surprising to me, but under 45 points in the Carolina Tampa Bay game is where we're seeing some Sharp money. I guess that makes sense though, right? A lot of weapons injured for Tampa Bay. How's Brady? going to react with all the youngins in the lineup today. It's like Brady, basically the professor, going to hang out with all the freshmen today, right? Like Ronald Jones, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson. Like these are the guys who's going to be thrown to today. Of course, Big Gronk going to be in the mix as well, but very interested to see what happens there. Atlanta under 44 here. So that's Detroit at Atlanta in that game. We're seeing some sharp money there. Jared Goff out at quarterback there for Detroit. So that certainly got a lot to do with it. Don't forget, Atlanta 1-5 at home this season, right? So they're not playing their best football there. And then the Miami Dolphins, that's going to be on Monday night, of course. But Dolphins at 1.5, we're seeing some sharp money there. Now, we can take a look at what the sports books need today, right? This is always a pretty cool column that's available there. Giants plus 11, right? And of course, Jake Fromm starting at quarterback. He looked a little competent when he saw some game action last week. We're going to see, right? Like the Mike Glennon thing just was not working. That big old draft there for the Giants, not that great. So, we're gonna see Jake Fromm in Philly today. Very interesting. I don't know why some of the most exciting games today are between these New York teams who are nowhere near the playoff picture, right? Jets, Jags, Giants, Eagles. We get to see the beginning of the Jake Fromm era. So very exciting stuff. I like this, right? Sportsbook needs it. The Patriots -1. I do like them against the Bills today. Of course, I got the big play on the under at 43.5. A lot of injuries or a lot of COVID protocols that mean a lot to both offenses in this one. So, and don't forget too, right? We saw that Monday night game. I understand that the wind was, just absolutely wild, going 25 miles an hour, northeast, southwest, whatever, right? Things are going to be a little different today. We might see Mac Jones actually throw the ball more than 3 times. So I do like the Patriots in this one. I think that the Bills have a little too many weapons missing there in their pass catching core. So, that could be tough for Josh Allen. And then Vegas has a pick 'em in this one. This is interesting that the sportsbook needs this. I'm wondering why more money is coming in here on the Broncos, especially with Drew Lock at quarterback. And that's certainly going to be something to watch out for today. Looking at the Action Network, their public betting money percentage tool, we're seeing the bets right around 50-50, but the Raiders are getting about 80% of the money there. So, I mean, you take it what you want with all this stuff, but couple other square plays today. This is always a funny one. This is the one that you don't want to be on. We got the Chargers 10.5, Bengals -7. And Tampa Bay there at -10. So those are the 3 plays that the squares are on. So if you're with those guys, I don't know, buy it down a little bit, get out of that position because that's not where you want to be. But where you do want to be is on the air right now with me and Pauly Parlays. Thank you for joining us, Pauly. Guys, you can follow Pauly on Twitter as well at Game Day Facts over there. He's always giving out some great stuff. How you doing on this Sunday morning?
Great. I'm moving the background so you can see my hats.
You sound fabulous, like stunning HD quality.
Yep. All right, we'll do that. You like I gave you a Christmas background.
Yeah, no, that's the sweater that you wore on the show the other
day. That is my ugly Christmas sweater. That is correct.
You sound great. Did you get a new microphone or something?
I have the exact same microphone as I've always had. Maybe it's your headphones. Did you get new headphones?
No, I got new audio equipment and stuff.
You're telling me that I always sound this great then, because this is what it always sounds like.
I'll take a picture of it and show people. I got a real fancy setup now. I look like a professional podcaster here. And
you've been a professional podcaster for a while.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I took a break.
I wore a Giants sweatshirt today because they stink and they're gonna lose again today. So I just thought I'd represent
my boys.
Them. Oh, I got my boys on. Look at the hat I put on the elf.
Nice. I actually was just talking about the start of the Jake Fromm era. Are you as excited as I am?
The 3-game Jake Fromm era. I'm sure it's better than Mike Glennon. Anything is better than Mike Glennon. That is the long and the short of it. You got to remember that Jake Fromm is the reason that Justin Fields ended up at Ohio State. He beat him out at Georgia. So the kid's a player, and that's the long and the short of it. He's been a winner. The problem is he's got a potato gun for an arm. So he just doesn't have an NFL arm. Can he win games? Sure. Kadarius Toney's going to be back, which is really helpful today. But I have at least 2 bets on the Eagles money line, I'm not taking the minus 10 or 10.5.
Did you watch that show QB1 where Jake Fromm was on?
No, but I heard about it.
It was Jake Fromm, Tate Martell, and some other kid. I don't even know where. I think he went to Pitt or something like that. But great show. Yeah, by the way, great win yesterday. Great win. I was talking about that with Rich Masana earlier. But yeah, it's just crazy how guys like Fromm, Martell, they were just these like highly touted prospects, and now Fromm is in the NFL at least, but Tate Martell I think he's at like his 8th different school already. So
is it bad I don't know who Tate Martell is? And when you said when you say Martell, I think of the actual quarterback from the Replacements that Shane Falco played for was Martell.
Yeah, that guy was a total dick, man.
Well, come on. He played that role so well. That movie was on the other day again.
He was a dick to the deaf guy. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
The fake deaf guy. Also, shout out Chris Radakis, my deaf friend. We are in the semifinals of the Greenwich Street Tavern Expert League.
Okay.
And I need your advice before we get to games right now. We have 5 guys on the COVID list. So our starting running back options, we've lost Eckler, which is sad, and we don't have Justin Jackson because you have to make pickups before week 14. Once the playoffs start, no pickups. Okay. So that might look, we talked it out and we considered, do we want to have Eckler's backup? And we said we wouldn't start him anyway. I don't know about that this week because I think he's a good play. So we're starting Mike Davis and Darrell Henderson. We also have Mark Ingram. Do we dare start Ingram instead of Henderson because the Dolphins, because the Saints are only going to run the ball because Ian Book is their quarterback? Thoughts?
Man,
it's so hard, right?
Yeah, I think you leave as is. You don't go switching here in the final 23 minutes. I can't.
They're all at, like, we started Hooper and Jarvis Landry last night because we knew other guys would get put on COVID. So we're just like, oh, we have active players. Let's play them.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. I think you just leave it as is. I think that, there's a little bit of uncertainty there. And, it's crazy. A lot of the guys here at Sharp app, they really like the Vikings today at +3.5. So I think that means we're probably going to see a shootout in the game, right? Just based on sort of where the line is right now. So yeah, I would imagine Henderson probably gets himself some goal line touches.
I sure hope so. And I actually have him in a second league. I'm in the semifinals and I've benched him. I'm playing Javonte and Melvin as my 2 running back spots. And then Henderson was going to be my flex, where I am now playing Rashad Penny because I know the weather's going to be bad there and they're just going to run the ball a lot. This is the weirdest fantasy playoffs I've ever been in. And I've been doing this for 20 years.
For sure. Oh my God. Yeah. This is like uncharted territory. And, I got in my hometown league, I clearly have the best team. Like, my team is just like Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson is my trio of receivers, right? Like, that's what you want out of life. And this kid, freaking AJ Brown going crazy. Friggin' Lazard caught a touchdown yesterday where he hit the pylon with the nose of the football. Like, give me a break. This is shit I don't need, man. Come on.
Yeah, and that was the record-breaking touchdown for Aaron.
What made it even worse is that some guy, I just tweeted out, I need a big Devontae Adams day or whatever, and some rando dude who I don't we don't follow each other, no nothing. He just comments and he's like, oh yeah, Alan Lazard, big day, blah, blah, blah. So I had to listen to this guy shit at the beginning of the day, but then thank God Devontae came back with the 2 touchdowns and order was restored at Lambeau Field.
That turned into a game. Both games turned into games last night. Yesterday. It was great. I went 2 for 2 yesterday, which was wonderful after a rough start Thursday night because I had the 49ers. And we'll see what happens today. There's so many weird lines because so much weird stuff has gone on generally because of COVID, where I got some really good lines. I got some really bad lines. I made bets in the middle of the night last night when I woke up and I couldn't sleep.
Did you wake up in a feverish sweat?
I woke up and I said, I'm going to bet the Falcons. This really happened. But I now that the line's at 7, I don't trust them to cover because they're the Falcons.
Yeah.
But with Tim Boyle starting, that was my best bet early in the week when we did the show on Thursday when the line was 5.5. Mm-hmm. Now that it's at 7 minus 290, it's tough. So what I did to make it not hurt so much, I parlayed the Falcons, the Chargers, and the Eagles for even money. Thoughts?
Okay. No, I like it. I mean, they should all win.
Right.
For sure.
I would think. So
yeah.
So we'll see there, but you never know. I mean, I did well on football yesterday. I teased the pack to -0.5 and over 39.5. So that was gorgeous. But then I took that money and I bet the Lakers money line, who are well, look, I'm listening to the pregame show with Perk and all those guys, and they're all just like, the Lakers should win this one easy. I'm like, okay, the line's 2.5. I'll take it. So I literally rolled my Packers winning money to a losing bet on the Lakers and ultimately lost $11.
Nice.
Yeah.
I told you I was talking about it with Rich too, but I had that bet on Caesars for NBA with the free $150 gift card, and I smashed on the Knicks yesterday too. One of my bigger NBA bets of the season. That was just fun. I was just like, there's no way the Hawks are rolling out of bed at noon and making this a game. No, hell no, bro. They just played a good game at Philly. The game before is the one where I took the Magic money line and the spread against them. So I was just having a grand old time against these idiots all week.
Well, the thing there, the one and only reason that was a Christmas Day game was because of Trae Young. And then he's on COVID. It was the antics of the playoffs last year. They're like, we have to have this. It's front row entertainment. And then he's out, and you got like Bojan Bogdanovic and Clint Capella. I'm like, and the Knicks just killed them. The Knicks, not that the Knicks are good. The Knicks are fine. They'll make the playoffs, but if they don't do anything at the trade deadline, they're going to be what they are, which is maybe 6, 7, 8 seed.
It is really funny looking at all these different like injury reports in the NBA nowadays, because it looks, I tweeted it the other day, it looks like a page out of a phone book right now.
You see, look, ISO Joe got a job. Isaiah Thomas got a job. We need
CJ Miles is back in the league.
The guy that I'm waiting for, because I think he still deserves a shot, is Jay Crossover, Jamal Crawford. How is he not on a team?
Let's get Stephon Marbury back in the league.
Steph's in China. Steph can't even get to the States.
We got spots that need to be fit. If you're coming from China, what's that, like a 21-day quarantine?
Probably.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah, who knows? So he'll be here in March.
That's like right in the thick of it there. Goodness. So the Discord app is going crazy over. So 2 coaches picked the Jaguars today, and couple other people like the Jets. So we're having just straight up mutiny out here in the chat. It's hysterical. But I'm on Team Jets. Where are you on this big matchup of Titans here?
I'm forcibly on the Jets. I took them at the beginning of the week last Tuesday. So it was a look ahead line before any of this COVID stuff happened. It will be the third leg of a 4-leg parlay. So I have the Jets -2.5. Within that bet, I had the Rams last Tuesday. Who did they play? I don't even know. The Rams. The Rams beat the Niners or the Cardinals.
Seahawks.
No. Oh, Seahawks. You're right. I named the one team that they didn't play. So yes, Rams over Seahawks. Then I had the Colts last night. Then the third leg is Jets -2.5. And the last leg, which I will 130,000% hedge on if I get there, is the Saints money line. I don't think that's happening at this point with Ian Book starting at quarterback.
The former Notre Dame great. By the way, you go to Pickwise. They have a video of what it looks like in Seattle right now. They have straight up like tractors and bulldozers on the field getting all this snow off. It's crazy.
So is this Rashad Penny play reasonable?
Yeah, I think so, right? Like, that's what they're going to do. I had Russell Wilson in a fantasy matchup today and Everett because of Kelsey. I literally needed anybody. Yeah. I took them both out. They're both done. So
that's great. I'm playing against them both in one of my leagues, and I hope the guy forgets to take them out.
Oh my God, that would be great, man.
For me,
I had a situation where I had Matt Stafford in the snow in Philly one year. I didn't know until the friggin' game kicked off, but
that happened to a lot of people yesterday. A lot of people didn't know that Connor wasn't playing, and then Edmonds had a great game. Edmonds is good. Edmonds is gonna. I have him as a potential keeper in a league for really cheap. But I don't know. Like, am I really going to keep a running back who's probably going to split goal line carries? It's tricky. And I'm not thinking about that now. But looking at him last night, he looked great.
Yeah. There's another situation I wanted to bring up because maybe you guys are in a similar one, but I'm getting Antonio Gibson listed as question. He's going to be a true game time decision tonight at the Cowboys, which is the Sunday night game. But, again, like that puts you in just such an absolutely terrible spot. Lucky enough, I was able to pick up that guy, Jared Patterson, there. So God forbid anything happens to Gibson, I at least have somebody to pivot to. So I would say, if you're in that situation, maybe drop your second quarterback or, your third tight end, whatever the deal is. It's just you're going to need that position there just to be safe. I thought I was going to be just safe and pick up Tyler Huntley this week for Lamar Jackson. And then Huntley got ruled out. So, yeah, to echo what Paul said earlier, this is something we have never seen before. And God bless you if you make it through it with a victory, too.
In that league, is a guy like Mark Ingram available? I think he's a sneaky good play on Monday because they're only going to run the ball. He's going to get touches. So if you snipe a touchdown there, I honestly think they're going to play Kamara in the slot and just hand the ball to Ingram all game. Ian Book is going to throw like 11 passes. So I think that's reasonable, like if he's available and he'll probably get a touchdown if they can get into the red zone. That's not a bad backup in case Gibson doesn't play.
Not at all.
That's why I'm tricky on the Henderson. Like I'm thinking Ingram got 11 touches last week. He didn't do much with it, but he still got the touches. I don't know what Henderson is at this point. He took a backseat to Michelle, coming off the quad injury. Now he's there, but who knows? I'm hoping it's what you're saying. I'm hoping it's a high scoring game, which then will involve Henderson more. It's a full PPR also, so hopefully he'll catch some passes.
Yeah, wild stuff indeed. All right, so we got about 10 minutes here before we kick off the footballs there on week 16, just to kind of go through some inactives. Again, we looked at the top of the show, but for Tampa Bay, Mike Evans, Godwin, Rashad Perriman, they're all out. Cole Beasley and Gabriel Davis there for Buffalo. For the Chargers, Mike Williams is going to be out. If you're looking for a receiver, Josh Palmer, nice little fill in there for him. Allen Robinson going to be out today too for the Bears, but again, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be throwing the football too much in that game. A couple of guys that are in this week. Tyreek Hill is going to play. Adam Thielen's going to play. DJ Moore is going to play. And Damian Harris there for the Patriots. This guy, Harris, was listed as a true game time decision coming into today. Warmed up the body there on the field beforehand. He's going to be good to go. So that is great news there for the Patriots in that game right there. Just trying to look at some more.
It's funny. All of that injury news that you're bringing up, I like all of the teams that those injured players are on, which might not be a good thing. I still like the Buccaneers. I think that we're underrating a great team just because guys are injured. Their backups are better than a lot of team starters. I bought it down a couple points, but I have Bucks money line and Bucks minus 8.5 in a couple places where they're still going to win the game and they're still going to win handily. Do we forget that Cam Newton is garbage? It's going to be Newton and Sam Darnold. I'll take the Bucks defense to just take the ball away from them.
No Levante David for the Bucs.
I saw that.
That sucks.
I get you. But look, still there. The D line. Okay, JPP. Okay, Vita Vea. Like, give me everybody else.
JPP's out too.
Oh no! I'm talking out of my ass now.
No, they did have a lot of guys, and I think Antoine Winfield's out too, if I'm not mistaken. By the way, it's a Boxing Day over across the pond in England.
Yes, it is a holiday.
Big day over there for the Brits over there. So shout out to the guys from US Odds over there celebrating. They said it was funny. We were like talking throughout the week and everything. And like basically from when I gathered, Boxing Day in England, you drink a lot. And that's okay.
I thought that's every day in England.
Yeah, but particularly on this day. And they just have all the soccer matches, throughout the day, and shit just gets wild.
Sounds like post-COVID, we'll be taking a trip.
Oh my goodness. I've been to England.
I have not. It's one of the countries that I really want to visit once all of this, whenever this happens and goes away. Who knows? I'll be 50.
You know how long it's been since Cam Newton had a good game against the Buccaneers?
Forever.
Well, 2019. He's actually in his last two matchups against the Buccaneers, he threw for over 300 yards, but that is clearly not happening. Like,
I will take the under.
If he throws for 200, his arm is going to fall off.
Come on, watch out. He's going to split carry. He's going to split the throws with the backup. Like, come on. That they're even doing that is also absurd. You're an NFL team. You're not a college team where you have a thrower and a runner.
Hey, so Paul has this fantastic system of betting where he fades someone. What did we come up with on the game for this?
I love that you're just jumping right there. Like you're like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna go there. Oh, I'm screwed, by the way. I'm screwed. It's
why?
Because it's the Seattle Bears game.
We wanted the over?
Yeah. But I bet it really early in the week. There's no way it's going to happen.
She must have looked at the weather report.
I got over 42.5 Bears Seahawks. So that's trash. Like I've already thrown out that money. But yeah, I usually grab another expert's pick and I just fade it that week.
Expert.
Look, you're an expert. I'm an expert. Come on, bro. It's all good. And this week I happened to choose Pamela Maldonado from Yahoo Sports. Because honestly, I like the over.
Where's she from?
She works at Yahoo.
Okay.
But now that I see the weather report, Pam's going to win. Pam's going to be right. I would definitely take the under in Bears Seahawks. What's the number at this point? I got over 42.5. I bet you it's under 40 at this point.
Oh, it's probably like 26.
Right. So whatever it is.
41.
So it doesn't even move that much. That actually makes me feel a little better.
All right.
But the weather report's tough on that one. And I heard you earlier, one other game that I'm like, it was one of my best bets, and now I'm just confused, is the Raiders and the Broncos.
Yeah.
I love the Raiders. I don't know why everyone loves the Broncos, and it makes me love the Raiders more. But like, I can't figure out why. Why do I like the Raiders? There's nothing to like except that Drew Lock is starting for the Broncos.
Yeah, like you can even get, you can get a Raiders +1 today at DraftKings and FanDuel. Like that just feels dirty to me.
It feels like it's a winner, what it does.
And then you guys, you probably influenced
you
this.
Guys. You're right. I was like, hey, can you put up this number for me?
-1.5 at BetMGM.
It's one of those weird games, and the movement on those numbers is purely based on the bets that are coming in. That's all it is, and I have no idea. The two games that I start at the beginning of the week were the Raiders over the Broncos and the Falcons. Who the Falcons playing? Oh my God, I literally just blacked out.
Detroit.
Thank you. Oh my God. So those were my two. Yeah. Those were my two best bets at the start of the week. I followed through with the Falcons, and I think I'm going to wait and see how the 1 o'clocks go to decide on the Raiders. But if I can get plus money on the Raiders on my book, I'll put something in on that.
Yeah, looking at the injury report here today, I guess I was trying to see with the Raiders if they had
the Raiders are healthy. The Raiders are fully healthy. The Raiders are there. They're healthy.
No sense.
Correct. So that scares the crap out of me. Like that says we're supposed to take the Broncos, but I'm still going to take the Raiders and pray.
Does this mean Drew Lock is going to throw for like 400 yards today?
The Raiders secondary is good. The Raiders defense is pretty good. Max Crosby's in the Pro Bowl. Like they're good.
And also, which makes it even more interesting, right? So I was breaking down sort of, all the different money movements and where they went throughout the day. And we have this sheet that our boy Anthony P puts together. It's absolutely fantastic. Lets where the sharp money's going, what the sports books need, where the square money's at. And the sports book needs the Raiders today. Like, I can't believe this. It makes no sense to me. Like, that many people are on the Broncos, or that much money is on the Broncos.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. We know that what Drew Lock is, and that he is a poor quarterback.
I like him. I hope he does well.
What do you like about Drew Lock? I
like that he sings rap songs on the sideline.
Yes.
And he knows all the words. No, like, I think the kid's got an absolute cannon, like I think that he does have some talent. Now, we haven't seen it, right? And I always have this affinity for people like the people who everyone hates. I hope that they do well, because then it makes those people look ridiculous. But
is that why we're friends? Because everyone hates me?
That's right. Fuck what everybody else says about you, Paul, about being an asshole and all this other stuff. I like you.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate your.
You got it, man.
Your positivity. Your positivity
really
in my life. It's very important.
All right, 3 minutes here before kickoff. Any final words before we close up shop here?
Final words. How the hell are we in week 16?
I know.
How are we playing Rashad Penny and Pat? What's Dan Shaughnessy is the tight end that you're playing in fantasy. It's that we've gotten to this point, and that these teams have 20 guys on the COVID list. I don't understand how no games have been pushed back this week. We're being forced to see an inferior product, but nobody seems to care. Hope all your bets win, and I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yes, indeed. All right, for me, Paul, and the rest of the Sharp App show, everybody enjoy this Sunday, even though it might be just an absolute ice pick in the eye at the end of the day. But go to the sharp.app, sign up for the VIP picks, and get yourself acquainted inside the Discord channel. Say what's up in there. It's a damn good time. But also download the app, track your bets, and you're able to put them up against everybody else on the Sharp app. So me, Paul, internet, we go. Peace.